Yo, yo, yo. This is what I do. This is MagMongoSlade. Let's talk about this thing real quick. This is from the Pro Wrestling Sheet. WWE makes change regarding NXT Women's Championship. Pro Wrestling Sheet has confirmed that the NXT Women's Championship will be simply referred to as the NXT Championship going forward. PW Insider first reported WWE has issued an internal decree to remove the gender-specific designation from the NXT titles for the foreseeable future. This was done during the last night's broadcast. The graphic for Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm said that their upcoming match was for the NXT Championship. Mauro Ranallo also described Rhea Ripley as the NXT Champion during her entrance and said Io Shirai wants to one day become NXT Champion. Kaylee Ray was additionally referred to as the NXT UK Champion. The name change for the title has not been made on the WWE.com Superstars page, but the recap for the last night's women's show also refers to the NXT Women's Championship as simply the NXT Championship. As you may have seen, Becky Lynch suggested something like this during her appearance on WWE Backstage this week. The best thing for the women's division right now, said the man, is that we eliminate the term women's. I think that is now starting to hold us back, she explained. Why do we need that division? We need people. We need characters. We need people looking for the main events, not the top women's spot, the top spot. Additional sources. This move has been discussed internally for some time now. All right, let's go through this nonsense. Okay, so there's a long political history of individuals who hold certain political views, deciding that the word women is offensive. So now we've got it infesting wrestling, because bitch is bitch, and because bitch is bitch, bitches get what they want, and now there's two people calling themselves the NXT champion, which makes absolutely no sense. Now, if you want to rebrand the champions, for starters, there was nothing wrong with the NXT Women's Championship. It main evented shows. It was really the first top women's title in WWE because because the WWE Women's Championship main evented like a Raw. I think it's Lita and Trish Stratus earlier in the 2000s. But it was really like a regular occurring top match in the card. It had nothing to do with. But the point, the designation of women is obviously because they're women. To call the NXT Championship the NXT Men's Championship, I mean, whatever. It's technically the same title. But now you're going to have two people calling themselves the same champion. But they're not the same champion. They can't be. So why would you create that confusion unnecessarily? I was already against them rebranding the United Kingdom Championship as the NXT UK title. I mean, that makes no sense. I like the idea of it. Now, I think Triple H wants to brand NXT as something different. So, I understood why he changed Walter's title from the WWE United Kingdom Championship to the NXT United Kingdom Championship. Okay, fine. He did the same thing with the Cruiserweight title. Whatever. But this decision makes no earthly sense. Who cares about this? Let's go to what Becky said. The best thing for the women's division right now is that we eliminate the term women. That's the best thing you can do for the women's division? Not add more wrestlers. Not give them their own show. The best thing you could do is to eliminate the word women. Think about that for a second. I know a lot of people are Becky Lynch fans. But if you think that the best thing you could do for women's wrestling is to take women out of the women's wrestling, that is quite frankly some stupid shit. Now, a lot of people out here think that Becky Lynch is the top draw in the WWE. She's not, okay? She's probably going to be in the opening match. Well, she might end up being in the main event of the Royal Rumble. Because that match, her match with Asuka does have a lot of heat. So maybe she will close the show. But a lot of this stuff is just political posturing. You give these people a little bit of authority, and all of a sudden they want to eliminate simple phrases like the word women. Why? It's holding you back. You know what this sounds to me? It sounds to me like this person is insecure. If you are insecure in being called a woman, then that's a personal problem. That has nothing to do with all the other women. You had a lot of women who had a problem with the word diva because diva has a negative connotation. I get that. You know, like I still don't like that, Impact refers to their championship as the Knockouts Championship. I still don't understand why they do that. I mean, there is no other women's title. You could just call it the Impact Women's Championship. It just doesn't make any sense. But they branded themselves as something and they stuck with it. Okay? WWE wants to bend over backwards to be politically correct to everyone, which of course ends up just biting them in the ass in the end, because we already know as soon as they go to Saudi Arabia, the same people who are complaining about this are still going to be complaining. Again, bitches, bitch. This is what they do. Okay? You give these people a little bit of power. They come into your house, they start changing the drapes and changing the color of the toilet paper. Shit that you don't really care about, but makes a big deal to them. Because, well, this is my little slice of heaven. Who gives a fuck about this? Who cares enough about this? People are just now really taking women's wrestling seriously. And then you go and take the fucking women out of the women's wrestling. It's nonsense. If you're a supporter of this, I think you probably have an extra hole in your head. It makes no fucking sense to say, why do we need that division? What do you mean? Why do we need that division? Are you supporting intergender wrestling? Are you supporting the concept of Becky Lynch versus Brock Lesnar as a legitimate match that people would want to pay to see? Who the fuck wants to see that? And I'm pretty sure Brock wouldn't even do it. Okay, this makes no earthly sense. And you know what? This type of stuff happens because people give in. This is why it happens. Because people are not... And it's sad that Vince McMahon is sort of the guy, even though I'm pretty sure this is a Triple H decision, because I haven't seen this on Raw and SmackDown yet. So we'll see. And I have more about that a little bit later. But Triple H is a guy who's got daughters, and he married into the company. He wants to keep everybody happy. So I can see him making this decision as sort of a political thing, because he don't want to be considered a misogynist. Who wants to be considered a misogynist? I mean, Lord have mercy. Such a first world complaint that I have to be called a woman when I'm a woman. I mean, didn't Becky Lynch go on this big rant about how she's not calling herself the man because she thinks she's a man? Should we not sell Becky Lynch shirts? Why should we not stop calling her the man? That's a gendered term. Why do we have to gender things? We shouldn't gender things. Things are gendered. Who the fuck cares? It's such a first world complaint. But to my next point, Bayley on Twitter tweeted out, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, that she is the women's world champion. I like that. Not exactly that, because I think on SmackDown she should probably call herself the women's universal champion. So if you're going to rebrand the championships to make them sound more important, you don't eliminate the word women. If anything, you just add the same concept that you have with the men's championship. Brock Lesnar is the WWE champion. Fine. Then Becky Lynch should be the WWE women's champion. That way, it's the equivalent title just for the women. Because Brock Lesnar isn't going to fucking want the women's title. Why the fuck would he want the women's title? This idea, here we go again. We need people. We need characters. We need people looking for the main events, not the top women's spot, the top spot. Well, guess what? You're not the top guy. You're just not. The fact is, Becky Lynch couldn't hold the whole division by herself. She's been champion all year. And it's only been de-emphasized every time she gets a push. It really just got hot with the Asuka thing. And I guess Sasha Banks. When Sasha Banks returned, she injected a lot of energy into that division. And then Becky beat her, and it all fell apart. And Becky didn't do shit for months again. Because she's not the top star. Sorry to tell people, she's not the top star. Okay? But back to what I was saying. It is not a problem. It should not be considered a problem for Becky Lynch to be the WWE Women's Champion and for Bayley to be the WWE Universal Women's Universal Champion. That should not be a problem. I don't understand why that would be a concern. Maybe I'm not getting it. Maybe I'm not politically correct enough. But to have Adam Cole running around calling himself the NXT champion, and now Rhea Ripley's going to run around and call herself the NXT Women's Champion, so they're the same champion. No, they can't be. You can't have two of the same belt. That just makes no fucking sense. So Triple H needs to fix this. Or this needs to be just come out and be destroyed and called bullshit, which WWE hasn't said anything yet. And since Ryan Satin is essentially in the WWE wheelhouse, he kind of adds a little bit of legitimacy to this. And this concept of internal decree. So maybe my ranting is for no reason. Because maybe it's just going to be what the commentators and introductors, announcers and all that say. But for the purposes of on screen, they're still going to be the women's champion to avoid confusion. Now, if that's the case, it's still dumb, but it will make more sense for Rhea Ripley still to be called the NXT Women's Champion for the purposes of the audience. And it still doesn't mean anything because this is still a pointless bitching reason to even change anything. It's like this makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. This change is not needed, and it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel natural to anybody. They're still going to call it the Women's Championship because you're not talking about the same fucking champion. You're not talking about the same person. So you're trying to create an unnatural language, which again, people of a certain political perspective want to do. Okay? You're not going to create this unnatural worldview, this unnatural view of reality. It's not gonna work. People are going to go back to what they know and what's comfortable. And not just what they know and what's comfortable, but what makes sense to them. There needs to be a separation between who the champions are. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Rhea Ripley, I don't know what to say. I'm just glad it's not you.